Crowdsourced geographic information is user-generated content contributed by a large number of volunteers. The collected geo-data sets are a free alternative to commercial datasets and governmental agency data. This presentation will cover two widely used citizen science projects called EDDMapS and iNaturalist. These projects facilitate crowdsourced field observations of plants and animals, investigation of available upload and search functions, as well as demonstration of data exploration methods on maps will be shown. This slide shows the three citizen science projects that are discussed in this presentation series. These fall into the areas of ecology, biology, and nature conservation. While eBird is described in another presentation, this presentation focuses on EDDMapS and iNaturalist. EDDMapS is a web-based mapping system for documenting invasive species distributions. It combines data from other databases, organizations, and volunteer observations to create a national network of invasive species distribution data on plants, insects, diseases, and wildlife. Data collection occurs in natural areas or minimally managed habitats rather than landscaped areas. Submitted data is reviewed by state verifiers to ensure all data is accurate. Collected data is shared with educators, land managers, conservation biologists, and other user groups. It is available for download in various formats. Using the Melaleuca tree as an example, we will demonstrate some of the available mapping functions in EDDMapS. This tree is native to Australia. It was introduced into the United States in 1887 for use in landscaping, agricultural windrows, highway plantings, and soil stabilization. While useful for many of these purposes at first, Melaleuca quickly spread from plantings. It subsequently invaded many natural areas of southern Florida. As a pest, Melaleuca appears on the Florida Noxious Weed List of the Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services. After clicking on the Distribution Maps link on the top bar, the user can either browse through the different species divisions to explore available species to be mapped, or, alternatively, enter a search term into the search window. In this case, two species are returned upon typing in Melaleuca. The first one is our intended species. Species distribution can be displayed at different spatial aggregation levels, namely in a state map, county map, point map, or list. The state map highlights those U.S. states where there has been at least one observation of a species. The county map provides a more refined presentation of the species distribution across the entire U.S. The map shows that Melaleuca can be primarily found in Central and South Florida, as well as Hawaii. At the county level, a record density map is another map type that can be chosen. It reflects the number of species observations in each county. Therefore, this map type presents quantitative information compared to the distribution map. According to the map, the highest density of Melaleuca observations can be found in counties along the coastline in southwest and southeast Florida. To avoid cluttered maps, the point map aggregates observations into spatial clusters. These are displayed as concentric geometries with the number of observations shown. As the user zooms into an area of interest, the clusters become smaller, and a more refined map of species observations is provided. The last map depicts the location of Melaleuca tree observations in the western portion of Miami-Dade County. This area contains part of Everglades National Park, shown as bright green to the left. Data download is supported in various formats including CSV, KML, GPX, and Esri shapefile format. Upon clicking the data symbol in any of the formats, an email is sent to the user with the download link after a short processing time. As an example, we downloaded the observation locations of Melaleuca in KML. This is a file format used to display geographic data in an Earth browser such as Google Earth. After opening a KML in Google Earth, all visualization and navigation functions like 3D view, zooming, panning, can be used to explore the dataset. The EDDMapS platform allows upload of a single observation through a web form. In case the reporter has collected hundreds or thousands of data points, bulk upload through a data file is also possible. A mobile app of EDDMapS is available, which implements most of the functions available in desktop browsers. In this presentation, the basic steps involved in data contribution through the web form are illustrated. As an example, we use an observation of the Formosan subterranean termite. It has a scientific name, Coptotermes formosanus shiraki. The Formosan subterranean termite is probably endemic to southern China. It was first reported in Florida in the early 1980s in Lauderdale, Broward County. It is one of the most destructive termite species in the world today. To begin online data entry, you must first choose the state in which you are reporting the pest. Then, provide the division of the species, which can be plants, insects, diseases, or wildlife. In this example, we are reporting an insect pest in Florida. The process is basically the same for all taxa. The web form requires information about the species and the observation. While mandatory fields are highlighted in red, numerous other fields can be optionally completed. This includes habitat description or estimation of the infested area. In this example, we only provide the pest species and the observation date. Next, three choices are available for providing the location of an infestation. The first option is to record the infestation as a point. This is useful when documenting a single organism, such as a tree, snake, or termite location. To do so, one can either click on the pin and drop it on the map to mark the location of the invasive species, or directly type in coordinate values. In this example, the infestation location is provided in geographic coordinates, consisting of latitude and longitude values. These coordinates refer to a location in Broward County. Upon data entry, the website marks the location on a satellite image. The second choice is to record an infestation that follows a linear path. To do so, one needs to click on the line icon to drop points along an infestation, such as a roadway, fence line, river, or shoreline. The third choice is to click on the polygon icon to drop points and create a site with 3 or more sides. This is useful when identifying an abandoned field or a group of invasive trees. After providing location information, additional optional steps in the data entry include uploading images of the pests to aid in species verification, and writing additional notes if needed. The next citizen science project that facilitates crowdsourced mapping and sharing of biodiversity across the globe is iNaturalist. It incorporates an image-based, automated species identification model into both the browser platform and mobile app. Users of iNaturalist can submit observations of organisms in the form of photographs, sound recordings, or visual sightings. Researchers interested in downloading data can use an export tool. This allows users to set a range of query parameters. Data download has already been illustrated in the introductory presentation of this series. This video shows all observations submitted to iNaturalist between January 2013 and October 2015. The spatial pattern reveals that some regions, such as the US, Europe, and New Zealand, are the most prominent areas for species mapping. The temporal component shows a continuous growth in crowdsourced contributions to iNaturalist over the years. With iNaturalist, one can explore millions of wildlife observations shared by naturalists from around the world. A good way to get started on the website is to click Observations from the top menu. This displays all species from around the world with individual observations appearing as gray markers. To the right, a list with the most recently posted observations is shown on the top. At the top of the page, a species and location filter can be used to narrow down this set of observations. In this case, we want to display observations of Burmese pythons in Florida, and set the filters accordingly. The results show that Burmese pythons are mostly spotted in Everglades National Park. In the gray panel, observation summaries provide 4 separate counts. These are observation quantity, number of species these observations represent, number of unique people who identified the observations, and the number of observers who contributed these data. In this case, since we activated the species filter, only one species is shown. Removing the species filter shows that almost 7,000 species have been recorded in Florida alone. On the map, one observation has been clicked to reveal more information about it. Using controls in the upper left corner of the map, one can switch between the observation's map view, grid view, and list view. The grid and list views sort the observations by contribution date in different presentation formats, with the most recent observations on top, as illustrated in this example for observations in Florida. Activating the Species tab summarizes the observations by the filter settings for the distinct set of species that they represent. The most frequently observed species are displayed first. Selecting a species allows the user to view a species' spatial and temporal observation patterns. For example, we can click on the American alligator to learn more. This information site contains statistical information about observations of the selected species, a map with the observation locations, and the estimated geographic range. Statistics include, among others, the number of total observations for that species in the database. This can be filtered by location. The seasonality chart demonstrates the fluctuation of observation numbers over a calendar year. For the American alligator, observations peak around April. That chart can be changed to visualize the contribution history. A steady increase over the years reflects the growing prominence of spatially enabled citizen science projects. The iNaturalist platform provides a variety of additional functionalities such as exploring places, adding new places, or shaping observations by individual identifications. These functions are described in multiple online tutorials found on the iNaturalist website. This presentation gave an introduction to two crowdsourcing citizen science platforms that are commonly used to map observations of plant and animal species in the US and around the world. For EDDMapS, 3 different types of distribution maps were explained, along with the various data download and upload functions. For iNaturalist, the available filter types and options for displaying observation data were discussed.